it's the Scotch Test Dummies coming to you with the Glenlivet Nadurra in a peated cask.
Peated cask.
Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. We're coming to you with the Glenlivet Nadurra.
Peated cask.
Peated. You're speaking my language. By the way, Nadurra, in Gaelic, it means natural.
Let's test it.
Test it! All right, Bruno, we're in a Punisher shirt, baby. Because there's peated in here.
Punish it.
Punish it. It says peated, but this is a different thing with peated. What?
Okay, well, if you're familiar with the Glenlivet Nadurra line,
yeah,
they had the Glenlivet Nadurra, and it was a 16-year, and then they changed it to an NAS, and it's just the Nadurra. Then they've made the Nadurra Oloroso Sherry Cask edition.
Right.
And then the Glenlivet Nadurra Peated Cask. Now the thing is with these, they're all cask strength.
Loving that.
This is 60.5% ABV.
That's phenomenal.
61.5%.
And they had me sitting up and paying attention when they said peated cask.
Now,
but this is weird. This is different.
Peated cask.
Yes.
In other words, Glenlivet has not taken the whiskey during the distillation process and peated it.
Right.
They took their Nadurra whiskey, Nadurra Scotch, put it into a cask that previously held heavily peated Scotch.
We don't know what kind, but it was a
so
heavily
all
peated
it's done,
Scotch.
and apparently it was, because
yes,
there is peat in here. But all it's done then is just soak up those peat flavors from that prior fill.
Right. And
good. Ooh.
Oh. I even dropped a little bit. I apologize. I don't know why I was doing it.
You should have let me pour. I've been doing good. They're just
You've
like
been
a
doing
little
great.
bit.
Well, you've got a skill touch where you'll drop 1/8 of an ounce. Just I think I went pretty small, didn't I? Is that a lot? That's a lot.
That's about twice as much more than what we've been doing.
I apologize.
And it's 61%.
I do love this one though.
You did like it?
Might have been a
the fact is, you
slip.
just sat down with it. Now what happened? Okay, the Glenlivet Nadurra Peated Cask is only available in certain states.
Which is a shame.
15, maybe 20 states. It wasn't available everywhere. It was not available in Kansas.
There's a tear falling
Yeah.
because I would rush out. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, okay, I just seen the date on the back of this, October 27th of 2015. So I probably got this in the first part of 2016. Well, yeah, if it was bottled October of 15. And what happened is I got family, cousins in the Dallas area, and I told, my cousin Jeff,
Way to go, Jeff.
keep your eyes open. If you see the Glenlivet Peated Cask,
Lone Star State.
pick one up for me.
You are a man.
Which panned out, because not only did Jeff pick this up for me,
What did he do?
he said, I bought it, you don't have to pay me back.
Wow. I've got a good brother-in-law. You've got a good cousin-in-law, husband of cousin.
I don't know if his wife Shannon knows that. But
well, she
maybe
does now.
Jeff did not buy this for us, Shannon.
No.
I paid Jeff back.
Boom, we're back. The bell rang. The dog barked. A special thing may or may not have shown up in our background. What? Continue.
Okay, anyway, so the Glenlivet Nadurra, I'm not sure what we got out on this. It was only available in certain states. It was not available in Kansas. So this one was purchased in Texas. Yeah, I wish this was. I don't know why they do that. Why it's only available in certain states.
Texas is huge, and they can probably get more than what Kansas can get.
Well, even that, though, it was. Well, I don't know who said that, I guess.
I know. So, the Glenlivet, if you do anything peated, contact the Dummies. Because Bart wants it.
Now, you say sherries are my wheelhouse. Now, this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
One, it's peated.
Yes.
And two, it's cask strength.
Yes. You're like talking dirty to me now. I was like, dirty talk. Peated and cask strength. Shut up. And I got to admit, the Glenlivet I've always felt has been more your wheelhouse. It's kin.
Well,
it's close to you.
Yeah.
I've always felt a little bit like, it's good, it's quality, but it's not really. And then this, get ready.
Now we've reviewed the Glenlivet Nadurra 16-year early. That was one of our earlier reviews.
Yes.
As well as the Nadurra Oloroso Sherry Cask.
Right, and I'm looking.
So I think And they're both cask strength, and I think you like them as well.
Right. What else here? I believe we have. Nope. I thought I had another one over there, but I don't. But this, first of all, the nose. I think I'm going to call it deceptive for what I'm about to taste.
Boy, I just saw you really got your nose up in there too. I don't have to get that close up to it.
The nose I found very perplexing, and I wasn't sure what I was getting into. I get almost an old wood furniture polish. Dusty. There's something else in there. A musk.
Peat.
A musky peat, though. When I first smelled it, I thought, man, this smells like a watered down peat.
You thought it'd gone bad?
Ash, not bad, but I just thought, oh boy, on the nose, I thought, did this putting it into an old peat cask not really do anything? Because the nose didn't jump out and do much for me. There's a hint of a peat and almost a very old oak.
Oak, a citrus sweetness, and I think there's more than just a hint of peat.
See, to me, the peat seemed watered down, mellowed out, and I was like, so this is what it's like if you throw something into just a cask that had the peat in it. I've seen some people take a peat and overly water them down because they don't like some of the peat, and I was thinking, uh-oh, that's what this nose tells me. It's not a bad nose, it's just very different, and it sent me down a path that I was about to be brought up short on, because that path is not correct.
Hell, a marshmallow.
Yeah, there's something odd in there that I still can't. Maybe it's like a roasted marshmallow over a fire is kind of what I get.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's almost like when you
maybe
burnt
like a
it.
burnt
Yes,
sugar.
yes, like you burnt your marshmallow right before you make your s'more. That is a perfect description. A little bit less sweet. And then this happens. Sorry, you go first. Because the nose I couldn't pin down. I couldn't pin it.
The citrus sweetness was the first thing, even when I put it in my mouth before I'd even taken a breath or anything. The citrus sweetness I could sense in it. There is a wet wood, a musty wood. The peat, for 61.5% neat, it's really very smooth, very, very tasty.
I'm in a pleasure zone.
A little bit of a clove sweetness is coming out.
Good call. I almost wept right there.
And that kind of that traditional Glenlivet Nadurra oak.
Wow. All right. That cask strength sparks you. It's like a explosion of get ready. You've got a little alcohol sparkiness, and it hits you. It's like an 88 millimeter Tiger tank gun going off in your mouth. All right. That's pretty specific. I know. I'm a World War II nut. All right. It sparks. It blows up, and then it goes peat warm. And it goes into that peat, and I'm going to tell you, and he's seen this, it's cold out. There's a blizzard going on. The fire is warming you, and you're wrapping yourself in your favorite heavy blanket. And I need to come back in to give you the flavor notes. But immediately I was like, oh my God, how did they do that?
I think that's a combination of the peat and the ABV. That 60% and the peat. It really is so warm. It's got a great mouthfeel. There's a sugar and a honey sweetness in there.
That is how they're shocking me here. It's the Glenlivet Nadurra with those sweeter tangy notes. Maybe a slight hidden pop of a little zest, maybe a little floral, and then boom, peat like rushes in. It like rushes in there on you, and it's like, oh my! But it's not an Ardbeg peat, although maybe it was in that cask. It's not a Lefroy peat. It's something.
Well, no. Now that you say that, what it reminds me of is an 18-year Lefroy.
Okay.
I mean, because it's really
it's
mellowed out. It's
Yeah.
still present. It's still there. There's that
Yeah.
peat, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah, I couldn't pick out what Isla barrel this is, what distillery it's coming from, so I can't tell you anything like that. It's more of an earthier peat.
Well, and I think all they say is that it's been in casks that previously held heavily peated scotches. So that's all you get. Maybe someone out there knows.
But it's amazing because it feels like it itself has somehow been peated, but it's not. And it's that oak peat. But it's like you just said, what the Lafroig 18 took 18 years to mellow the peat, because of the way they did this, the peat tastes like a mellowed, aged peat. The peat is there, but it's not punching you. And I love a punched peat, don't get me wrong. But blending this in, and it's not blended, but I mean the way it folds in with those zesty floral notes, and it's almost like how when a cinnamon roll is cut, you've got a layer and then some cinnamon sugar and then a layer, and you can just see these layers. I feel like it's just like trickling through peat, zesty, sweetness. I mean, it's just amazing. I love this, dude. I love this. And part of it is the nose had me thinking, oh no. And then I had that cast strength pop, and as soon as that died down, it was like short breaths of excitement when you're on one of those amusement rides, like a Sea Dragon they have at Elitch's in Denver, where it takes you up to the top and you're like, oh, and then you start coming down, oh, and it just continues to move you through that. I'm excited. Please do this again and make it available in Kansas. If there's someone out there that is in the Lone Star State or elsewhere, let me know. If there's a web, I'm going to start perusing websites to see if I can get this, because I love this. Love it.
Now, I was going to ask you, I've got a vanilla cream after a couple of drops of water that comes out with it.
I haven't even done the water.
And a slight nuttiness. Now, I was going to ask you, though, because I noticed on the back, on the palate, it says one of the notes is a rich, tangy marmalade.
Wow.
Do you get that?
You know what? I've called marmalade a few times, and then I sit there and wonder, do I really know what marmalade is? I think I do.
Well,
it's like a jellied,
the thing is, you could get apricot marmalade, or you can get strawberry marmalade.
All right. I need to go get like a pure marmalade from the farm and art market and just throw it on a cracker so I get a good feeling of what a marmalade is. What really gets me with this one is the zest, the floral notes layered directly, very closely in with the peat, the smooth peat, and then it immediately pops you out of the peat and into the sweet, and then it pops you back into the peat and then into the zest. And it's just like this rolling beautifulness.
I got right there almost a little bit of a cigarette ash, which leans me towards Lafroig caskings. But I do like it. I was impressed by it. I don't know if it's as much as you.
Wow.
I've really begun to warm up to the peateds.
See, if I had to guess, I would say Ardbeg, but I'm not even sure on that. And
well, I only say Lafroig
else.
just because I just got it almost reminded me of a cigarette ash.
Right.
Which
I can see what you're saying on the cigarette ash. I am amazed that this much peat has been captured by just using a prior filled, heavily peated whiskey, Scotch, because and you nailed it. I couldn't really even put words to it until you said it's almost the subtleness of an 18-year Lafroig. Mm-hmm. So we know how they did it. By grabbing that cask that had a heavily peated Scotch in it, and then just letting this mellow in there. I don't know how long they did it. God, whatever you did was great. It gave it the feeling of an 18-year complexity with all these other things layered into it. Mm-hmm. This is witchcraft. Okay, this is probably alchemy.
It's magic.
Yeah,
how did they do
pure
it?
magic. They've told us how they do it, but I love it. I will go try to find this.
I feel bad that I left it. This had been sitting in my cabinet for a while.
Yeah.
And finally I was like, I need to get that out and we need to...
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you.
Well, in fact is, and I brought it over, and we've had stuff that's been sitting here for 6 months and 8 months, and I just brought this over yesterday.
You know what scares me?
You said we got to get that film.
Yes. That scares me that this may be hard to find, and are they doing it again? Because it's been, we've kind of been late to the party on it. And or I am, and now I want it. And
yeah, and
I
don't
see
know
the
if
date on here is October of last year.
The regular Nadurra and the Oloroso Sherry, I think they've had several batches of. So maybe they are doing more.
God, I hope you're consistent, Glenlivet, because this is magical. The Glenlivet.
You're kind
way to go.
amusing me.
I should
How
be.
much you like it.
Oh, it's like effervescence is coming from me. Yeah. I need to find this. Here's part of what happened. I'm telling you, that nose kind of led me like, they went down a bad turn. And then it hit my mouth, and I was like, ah. And I was like, what? I was like, oh my God, what? I was just like, oh my. And it continues to do that now. So what a dressed up, beautiful flavor.
Well, I got my score showing. What are you giving it?
I'm torn. It's in the 90s, I'm telling you that. But here's part of my problem. I feel like my expectations were low, and I thought Pete ripoff, that crossed my mind. Then I nosed it, and I thought, oh yeah. And then what happened was when it hit my mouth, it then went crazy wild. And I'm going to say 94.
Are you conflicted because you think you're scoring it too high because it just way over blew your expectations?
Right. Yes.
You don't want to, and so you're thinking you don't want to overscore it.
And I believe I am.
Kind of bring it back into, no, it's probably not bad.
I know, but 94 I believe is the highest score I've ever given anything, and I'm not sure that's correct for me. But you've hit it right on the head. Is that it under promised, way over delivered. Way over delivered. And I feel like that makes me go, oh my God, 94, unbelievable. And it's because my expectations were down here, and then the nose, oh yeah, a little bit lower, and then boom, and it exploded. And it's a 94. But
there you go.
But I'm a little bit, I'm not, I feel like maybe that's my exuberance giving it a 94, but I'm sticking with the 94, and I need to find it.
Well, really, and I was just thinking because of the Glenlivet Oloroso Nadurra edition. And just like any sherry, it's not like the sherry is blended into the Scotch. They've taken a Scotch or a whiskey and put it into a cask that previously held sherry.
Right.
So it's the same here. It's just a cask that previously held peated.
Right.
And it is amazing how much of that was stuck in the wood that is now transferred over to this.
Right. I mean, I've even heard stories where how much when they dumped the barrel, how much was left in there? Was there some, or is it just what had soaked into the barrel? I don't know. Whatever you guys did, do it again. Do it again, and then make it available in Kansas, and I will be searching for this.
I don't think we even need to do that. Is it worth it?
It's worth it. I don't know what how much was it? I know it was a gift to you, but how much do you know the
$400.
Shut up.
No.
Shut up. That would be cruel.
It's a $70, $75, $80 range.
I'm pulling the trigger twice. That's a double-barreled shotgun pull. Boom! And then the second one, bam! And then I'm breaking it open, I'm reloading, and I'm shooting again. Wow.
Time. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
It is time to go.
We scored it. Is it worth it? And go to scotch-dummies.com, buy a Glencairn, help us out, support us. You can find out more information on our next live stream tasting. And check us out on patreon.com. You can crowdfund us there a little bit. All helps with the show, helps us keep up our cameras and our computers, all the processing with whiskey, stuff like that.
Did you say I could keep this?
Nope.
You might have to throat punch me. I'm loving it. Way to glow. Way to glow. I said way to glow. Way to go. Way to love it. Scotch it. You Scotch gods.
Cilantro. Dummies.